Happy, happy, joy, joy. Welcome back to Real Talk with INCODA. I'm your host, India Wilson. Remember, like, subscribe, and after the interview, we would love to hear from you. So make a comment. Today, we will be interviewing Daniel Abella. Daniel is the organizer and founder of the Psychedelic Film and Music Festival. I know when you hear the word psychedelic, you think of substances, and that's where the Psychedelic Film and Music Festival comes in to help you get a greater understanding of psychedelics and the other areas. Give us a little bit of your background and how you came about in creating and organizing the Psychedelic Film and Music Festival.
Sure. Well, basically, I've always been interested in altered states of consciousness. Um, and that goes way back to when went back in school. So, I've also been interested in film. I've organized film festivals in the past. And on one of my more recent film festivals, I came across a gentleman who's been a leader in the psychedelic community. His name is Dennis McKenna. He's a scientist, and his brother, Terence McKenna, was a well-known promoter of the psychedelic revolution. You could say he was like the next successor to Timothy Leary. So the two of us got talking, and Dennis recommended that I organize a psychedelic festival. That this would be a good, there would be a market for it. But at first, I was a little skeptical about that because being a New Yorker, I feel that New Yorkers may not necessarily be into psychedelics. But so nevertheless, I gave it a try, and I organized my first psychedelic festival back in 2018, and it went very well. We had a very large turnout, and the focus was not just on psychedelic documentaries, but on practices that alter our states of consciousness. Because I want to go to the original definition of psychedelics, which is that which is presented to the mind. That is the definition of psychedelics. So any practice, whether it be prayer or chanting or meditation or or taking medicinal plants, any practice that induces an altered state of consciousness is by definition psychedelic. So mystical visions, visions in general have a psychedelic component. So the goal of our festival has been to showcase movies and documentaries that explore the psychedelic experience in all its forms, not just tripping or eating mushrooms, but chanting, dreaming, ritual practices, meditation, anything that can alter one's state of consciousness. So we've been doing it since 2018, and we're actually on our fifth year right now, and it's doing very well. We're really very happy with its. We're very happy with its with the way it's coming along.
What is some of the misconceptions about psychedelics? Because most people, they still want to think it's just the substance.
Right. Well, okay. Let's. The original definition is that which is revealed to the mind. So part of our mission is to educate people about what psychedelics is. So it's entirely arbitrary. So a psychedelic experience is anything that alters our state of consciousness. If you go on a 10-mile run and the runner's high, there you go. That's a psychedelic experience. If you have a mystical vision, that's a psychedelic experience. If you are feeling dizzy from dancing or from praying or from chanting, that's a psychedelic experience. So we need to go break out of our own box mind thinking that psychedelic is all about just ingesting acid or LSD or mushrooms. That's a very limited, rigid, and really not useful way of thinking about psychedelics. I mean, I could have called it a transformational, but that would have called it more the new age kind of thinking. So uh, I decided to stick with the original definition of psychedelics instead of calling it a transpersonal festival, because then people would say, what is transpersonal? So, again, the definition is that which is revealed to the mind. That's the original definition of psychedelics. And so our goal is to educate people about what psychedelics are. So a lot of people in the know that what a psychedelic film is. Anyone who's ever seen 2001, who has seen Altered States, who has seen films of that nature, are those films by definition create an altered state of consciousness. So that's our goal. Part of it is to really expand the notion of what a psychedelic experience is, and whether it be through medicinals or through meditation.
Your next film festival is coming up very soon. So share with our audience and supporters, where it's located.
Okay, so our festival is this Friday. As a matter of fact, starts this Friday and runs live in person Friday and Saturday at the Producers Club. The festival will run for 2 days, and it will Friday night and all day Saturday, and it will showcase a wide variety of close to 100 films and documentaries covering the whole psychedelic experience. For those who cannot attend, who may be far away or another state, we also having an online version where they can, by going to our website, this psychedelic film and music festival.com, they can follow the link and it will take them to an online portal where they'll be able to watch the film from their homes. However, for those who are in New York City, we strongly encourage that they actually show up in person, because there's no replacement for the face-to-face interaction, the energy that exists in a live setting. But for those who cannot make it because they're far away, this is another option that they can avail themselves of.
And knowing that you have a heart and passion for veterans, how do you explain how psychedelics can be used to help heal trauma?
Well, essentially, what PTSD is, in a nutshell, is an overwhelming emotional experience that has essentially that is not has not been allowed to be processed into long-term memory. It's sort of it's like a broken record, and when the mind tries to resolve it, it gets stuck, and that is the experience of having someone have flashbacks, terror attacks, and so on. So what psychedelics do is that they balance off that terrible emotional experience with something very positive, something that kind of like dilutes it or spreads it thin, so the person can now look at it from a different perspective and experience that event from a different point of view, and thereby allow their mind or their brain to process and that information or that experience into um, long-term memory. So what a lot of studies have indicated, for instance, is that MDMA is an excellent way of doing that. What MDMA is a kind of a dopamine boost that helps. It gives people a tremendous feeling of love for everyone, for the universe, for everything around, and that kind of, in a way, integrates with the more negative aspects of the PTSD. So the person now is able to love themselves or appreciate themselves, something they were not able to do before. MDMA is one way. There are other practices: meditation, vision quests, surfing, even some of the methods that I've introduced in my book, The Theater of the Mind, work for PTSD. The most important takeaway regarding PTSD and veterans is that the mind is a perfect learning machine. And what happened to them is a powerful memory that is stuck, literally stuck in one part of their brain. So what we help people do is take that memory and move it to another part that can process the information, process that experience. It's almost like they're like, the example I like to use is this. Have you ever heard of a song listen to a song, and then hours later is running in your head automatically. You're wondering what's going on. It could be and usually they're terrible songs. They get stuck in our heads, right? And with that kind of well, that's essentially what the visual counterpart of the PTSD experience is. Exactly that. Something that's stuck in our head and is looping in. So what we do is we gotta go inside and kind of change the orientation of that, and by giving people a place they can re-experience that level of intensity from a different perspective. It's like watching a movie. So these techniques work, but also meditation, MDMA, they have different approaches. The bottom line is to give us an opportunity, give the brain an opportunity to process that experience. So vets can, I've been working with vets on and off for the last few years, and some of them have gone on these retreats. Most of them take place in South America, in Peru or Brazil, and in a certain kind of setting, they return feeling that they're able to deal with that experience and process it more. So those retreats involve the ingestion of ayahuasca, which is a type of substance that gives them a kind of a powerful experience that kind of cleanses the toxicity of the post-traumatic stress. But by no definition is that the only way they can tackle PTSD. There are a variety of ways. So the information we share with our vets is that, look, there are a variety of ways. The most important thing is that there are people out there that can really help you, and don't just rely on medicinals from big pharma, because more than anything, they've proven to not be effective. Now, there are other ways. So I think a lot of vets keep to themselves. Maybe they hang out with other, vets, and that's about it. But we're trying to create a community where they feel welcome and appreciated for what they've done, and so they can slowly begin to take advantage of those kind of methodologies. So we did a couple of years ago. I did a psychedelic music event, which was a fundraiser for the vets. Did that 2 years ago, and that did very well. And we took the monies from that and we basically gave it to the Wounded Soldier Foundation for that. So the psychedelics has been shown to work with specific. This is the positive aspect of psych. When people think of psychedelics, what do they think about? They think about tripping out, flashbacks, negative experiences, and so on. But that's like anything else in life that is very powerful. You gotta know how to use it. You can't just take it randomly, because
And you have to be educated.
you gotta be educated. You cannot just go and like, okay, I'm gonna put my hand over fire and see what happens, or I'm gonna walk into the street without looking at what at incoming traffic. You gotta be prepared and emotionally prepared for what happens when you go on these ventures. And that's why these retreats do very well, because as the vet or the practitioner is going through that experience, he's surrounded by others that are supporting him, that are grounding him, that are giving him a sense, saying it's okay, it's safe, you're in a safe environment. And that's the most important thing that walk away is that the issue of safety and trust has to be brought back to them, because they sense that their own reality is very fragile and it cannot be. That's why you don't want to go there. Avoid it. Don't touch it. But so by surrounding themselves with people that do love them, that support them, that are there for them, that creates a sense of belonging. So they're now able to, whatever experience comes up from the ayahuasca, they're able to integrate it in a way that will help them down the line.
Well, some veterans are afraid of the pharmaceutical medication and the substances. because some people understand that those things can be addictive and they don't want to go that route. So they kind of, like you said, they put themselves into a solitude type situation, and they move with caution when communicating and dealing with the outside world. In closing, could you give our audience some feedback and just, on your excitement of the psychedelic movement and the culture, and just reaffirm that it's not the stigma that people have put on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is, think of our festival as an educational festival where you go there to learn about different ways or different methods or practices people have to get out of their own selves. Because we're often get stuck. We are in our own selves too much of the time. So we gotta get out of our own. We gotta get out of our own way to allow change to happen. For instance, I'll give you an example. Let's say you cut yourself, and what you usually do is that you put either a band-aid or you maybe something over it, and nature will automatically heal it, or your body. But if you keep scratching that scab every day, that's not gonna heal. So you gotta create a space where the healing can happen, psychological healing in this case. And you keep and this is what these practices do. They create a space in the person's mind, whether it be meditation, prayer, or chanting, or mountain climbing, or surfing, or medicinals. These are done with intention. They can help people create that, reconnect to their true selves, which they probably have lost track of. So people should think of our festivals as a way of learning about what's out there, not just, oh, we're gonna trip out and zoom out. No, no, it's about learning different practices. For instance, we have documentaries on meditation, on nature, and on the Native American spirituality in this country, Haitian drumming, um, medicinal. So they can pick and choose which direction they feel most comfortable. As I said, there's no practice is best for everyone. There are some practices that person naturally gravitates, and those are the best. Their body will tell them, their body will tell them, this is where to go. This is where I feel at home. Maybe mountain climbing. For others, may just be going to a retreat. Others might be a vision quest. At the end of the day, you gotta learn to just let that inner small little voice inside of us saying, "Hey, this is where you want to go. This is what's gonna help you really uh, heal." Creating a space with others, or in sometimes solitary, or with others, depending on how the person feels. So people should look at our festival as an educational experience first and foremost. Education about altered states of consciousness, whether it be watching a movie or watching a documentary or just being with others who have been there, who have been through the challenges and can tell and can share some of their feedback, how they got better. That's important. The important thing is where whoever's listening and is going through PTSD, just understand you're not alone. There are others out there like you that have gotten better, and maybe they're there to help you make the choices you need to make to feel better about yourself. So you're not alone. There are people out there who will help you, and that's why you just that's the key to really learn how to connect with your own tribe, with your own little group of people that says this is the way to go.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for joining us on Real Talk with INCODA. And everybody, the Psychedelic Film and Music Festival will be held this Friday, November 18th.
Thank you, India, for your
Thank you very
help.
much. Thank you.
You have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Here's some interesting information. Did you know that the human brain remains the biggest manufacturer of psychedelic substance? A psychedelic compound known for its powerful hallucinogenic episodes is produced naturally in the brains of mammals, according to the medical researchers from the University of Michigan. But despite The finding? Scientists are still unsure as to why.